after being attacked by a dog. A live report coming up.
Plus, a groundbreaking for a new plastic waste purification plant in Augusta. We'll take you to today's ceremony.
And Augusta University Health has a new doctor to help with patients who need mental health. News Channel 6 at 5 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 5.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jenny Montgomery.
I'm Brad Means. Thanks for joining us.
Coverage you can count on begins tonight with breaking news out of Columbia County. A Columbia County infant hospitalized after being attacked by a dog. News Channel 6's Dernisa Jefferson is covering this breaking news for us. She is live from the neighborhood where it happened. Dernisa?
Yeah, that's right, Jenny. We are standing right in front of the home where that child was attacked, and we've just learned the name of that victim just a few moments ago. Now, what I can tell you is that deputies say the grandmother was inside the home watching her 7-month-old granddaughter, Serenity Garnett, when they were both attacked by a pit bull. Both the grandmother and the child have been transported to AU Health for treatment, but the child's injuries are more severe. Now, we also spoke with a neighbor today who says he often saw the dog playing in the yard, and it seemed like the grandmother had a hard time handling him, but he never attack like this. Now, we have also learned that the Columbia County Sheriff's Office is also involved in this case. We will continue to bring you information as soon as we get it. For now, reporting live in Martinez, Dernisa Jefferson, WJBF News Channel 6.
Dernisa, thanks. Augusta Mayor Hardy Davis continuing to face accusations that he violated state campaign laws. An ethics committee finding probable cause that Davis misspent thousands in campaign contributions and was secretly involved in the Concerned Citizens billboard campaign to put a new arena at Regency Mall. Dave Barbie filed this complaint originally because there was no filing of who was behind that billboard. Last December, Davis called that complaint politically motivated. Barbie says he feels vindicated now.
It wasn't legally processed, and once they dug into it, it just kept digging deeper and deeper and deeper. And then when we found out it was in the mayor's office, then they started looking elsewhere. They took off with the complaint, and look what they uncovered.
Well, the mayor did release a statement late Monday about this whole thing. It reads in part, the billboards that we're talking about 4 years later have a signed contract by the owner of the Regency Mall, and I am now held responsible for their action because the Ethics Commission has not been able to make contact with Cardinal Management. Those are the owners. You can read the full statement at WJBF.com.
A list of new names being considered for 9 military bases across the country, including Fort Gordon, has been made public. Fort Gordon is named for Confederate General John Gordon. The Naming Commission has released 87 potential new names being considered for those 9 bases. One is Charles Kelly. Kelly was born in Wadley and raised in Sylvania. He was killed in action in Vietnam in 1964.
And then on his last flight on July 1st, he was called into to rescue an American soldier. He was warned off that there were small arms fire in the area, and he said, yeah, I'll leave when I have you wounded.
Other names on the list include Harriet Tubman, Dwight Eisenhower, Alexander Augusta, and Colin Powell. The Naming Commission has to present its final list of names to Congress by October 1st. Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller is here with us now.
With that, all coming up in just a few minutes. Jenny Brand.
Richmond County Schools and Georgia Power are teaming up to help students be more prepared for their future careers. News Channel 6's Ashley Jones tells us how that partnership works.
In order to build a workforce, you have to start with the almost birth to 3 before they even enter the school system.
Under the new partnership, Georgia Power will invest $3 million into the school system for programs like the Student to Work program. It provides high schoolers with job training and work experience.
It's an opportunity to connect workforce development, early learning, and just a whole concept of how to improve the entire school system.
Some of that money will also go toward funding an early reading program for all students.
They really looked at our communities, the 4 school districts, and they saw that we had similar challenges.
Jason Cuevas with Georgia Power says these school systems were chosen based on interviews with school leaders and research on family poverty rates, unemployment, and access to early learning.
Focus here is working with the school districts, really in partnership with them to help address needs that they identify, that we believe we can bring resources to bear to help address those.
But the extra funds don't just stop at workforce preparedness. School leaders are also looking to revamp their parent university program.
So about a few years ago, the district, used to fund a parent university program where parents who have not graduated from high school but were really close had an opportunity to come back to the school system and work with an outside agency. But we staffed that program with some of our teachers to ensure that our parents had an opportunity to graduate, and then they can better support their students.
Wjbf says the early workforce training could potentially set students up for jobs with the company.
We think we can help really create those opportunities for hands-on learning and help guide, if you will, workforce training programs to help Georgia maintain its competitiveness and also help every Georgian have an equal shot at being successful.
In Augusta, I'm Ashley Jones, WJBF News Channel 6.
Augusta Corporate Park's newest tenant is a $500 million investment, and today they officially broke ground. Pure Cycle is building 2 recycling lines, each with the capacity to process 130 million pounds of plastic. Eventually, they plan to open 8 recycling lines in Augusta Corporate Park. The company will mean a new job for at least 80 people. Their first hire was at the groundbreaking today.
It is incredibly exciting. I could not be happier. I have smiled every day since I got this opportunity. The impact that we're going to have on the environment, that our mission is so incredible in reducing plastics. I could not be more excited about anything else.
Pure Cycle expects the first 2 recycling lines to be up and running by the end of next year.
Augusta University Health has a new doctor in its emergency department to help with patients who need mental health help. Here's News Channel 6's Renata Dubose.
In 1 month, AU Health's emergency psychiatry service saw improvements in patient care.
The feedback that I've received from my colleagues in the emergency room and from patients is that things are moving more quickly, more efficiently.
Dr. Erin Dexter tells News Channel 6 that psychiatry services have always been busy at AU, but during the COVID pandemic, wait times changed, increasing, she believes, from 6 to 8 hours to double that time. Now she's housed right inside of the emergency department. Once a patient presents mental health needs, she's called.
We're able to work together from the outset, even while they're doing the medical clearance, so that I can get patients hopefully initiated on treatment more quickly.
She says she can see patients and start medication. Following that treatment, the patients can now move more quickly to one of the 8 available beds and then on home to family. Dr. Dexter says she works closely with other departments to use their beds if needed. Another problem prior to her service during the pandemic was an influx of patients with mental health needs, making wait times even longer.
People were isolated from their support system. People who, for example, had older parents were unable to see them due to the mere risk of what could I possibly threaten them with if I've been exposed to things and then go visit them.
Other contributors included dealing with grief during the pandemic, and those who already battle mental health problems were unable to see their doctors in person. Now that wait times are shorter, services are better, and she's hoping more government funding will improve Georgia's mental health ranking, which she says is one of the lowest in the country.
I think much of that has a lot to do with continuity of having the same group of people come in and see the patients every day.
In Augusta, Renata Dubose, WJBF News Channel 6.
Georgia lawmakers have 7 legislative days left before this session ends. They still have to ratify a budget, but several topics have resurfaced, including sports betting and gambling. As in years past, casino gambling, horse racing, and online sports betting legislation have made little progress this year. State lawmakers say collecting tax revenue from sports betting could help fund education, like the Hope Scholarship, and rural health care.
Yeah, horse racing, they ought to be able locally to decide that instead of us throwing a roadblock. There are rural areas areas all over the state that want to have horse racing. Who am I in Savannah, Georgia, to tell folks down in southwest Georgia that they can't have a very big and thriving industry?
The bill did not pass crossover day, but the measure could come back next legislative session. Coming up, many families say child care across the U.S. is often unaffordable and unattainable.
Lawmakers say they're trying to fix that problem. We'll have a closer look as News Channel 6 at 5 continues.
Somebody put on some good music.
Or any South State, Georgia location. The live 5 for 6 mobile app. Download it today.
Child care experts and advocates told a panel of senators today that the cost of child care has risen more than twice the rate of inflation. Washington correspondent Alexandra Limon spoke to lawmakers about how they're fixing the problem.
Child care costs to American families have risen more than twice the rate of inflation.
Parents, child care advocates, and lawmakers say the U.S. child care system is broken.
And early childhood educators earn poverty-level wages that undermine their complex work and limit the supply of care.
Democrats are still pushing for their Build Back Better plan that contains provisions for low-cost child care and free preschool.
Fully paid plan to bring down costs for families, bring up wages for workers, and give parents across the country more freedom.
Wow, how could you not have passed this into law by now? It's all free.
Republican North Carolina Senator Richard Burr pointed out that Democrats haven't been able to get enough support, even from their own party, to pass the plan.
With no plan for paying for 2 new entitlements, the proposal hides the long-term cost.
Burr said he proposes improving and reauthorizing a current government program. But all 4 of the witnesses testifying said that program, the Child Care Development Block Grant, doesn't do enough.
Because of the lack of resources and limited reach, most families in the United States are not included at all.
The child care advocates also said the investments Democrats propose are necessary, but Democrats have no clear path for passing them. In Washington, Alexandra Limon.
College tuition now going up at twice the rate of inflation. Financial planners often recommend parents look into accounts designed for education, 529 plans. They have major tax advantages. Contributions are tax deductible in Georgia and South Carolina, and the money grows tax-free. But experts say there are some drawbacks.
What are the biggest cons to contributing to a 529?
One of the large ones is that if a child is applying for financial aid, the parent's ownership of the 529 will count as a resource available for education. So it reduces the need in the mind of the grantors of the scholarships and so on.
Financial experts say just saving $100 a month when your children are young is like saving $1,000 a month when they're in high school.
Coming up, Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller